Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're getting in time for some reading, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes. And before I start, I want to remind you, if you like what you see and hear, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you want to support me financially, please support me through my bookshop.org link if you want the book. I'm sure there's other ways, but that's my affiliate link. You can send me a few bucks or whatever they give me my way to support my reading habit. Anyways, today's book is called Beautyland by Helene Bertino. I read this for a online book club that we met virtually for a few days ago, a few days before I made this video, so it doesn't really matter to you guys. Anyways, I would not have picked this book up otherwise. This was not a book that was in my wheelhouse. I'll read you the description on the front flap and we'll go from there. At the moment when Voyager 1 is launched into space carrying its famous golden record, a baby of unusual perception is born to a single mother in Philadelphia. Adina Durano is tiny and jaundiced, but she reaches for warmth and light. As a child, she recognizes that she is different. She possesses the knowledge of a faraway planet. The arrival of a fax machine enables her to contact her extraterrestrial relatives, beings who have sent her to report on the oddities of Earthlings. For years, as she moves through the world and makes a life for herself among humans, she dispatches transmissions on the terrors and surprising joys of their existence. Then, at a precarious moment, a beloved friend urges Adina to share her messages with the world. Is there a chance she is not alone? Oh, sorry about that. My phone decided that. The weirder things about technology is sometimes Siri might interrupt you while you're doing an online video. Anyways, I gave this a 3.5. There were aspects that I really liked and aspects that I really felt really odd. I think the things that were odd to me were how she spoke, how Adina spoke. She talked in a very staccato, very short shrift matter of fact. I also listened to audio, and it really captured the sense of the book. I know that I would have probably read it differently had I read it in my own head. But because I also had the audiobook playing for about 6 hours, I did think it was a little strange. It did give me that feeling of her being a alien. You could also describe that she is probably on the spectrum. The way, because of the way she speaks. Oh, and I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. It was okay. It was really well done, just not to my liking. Very different than what I normally read. I'm not much of a science fiction fan. I would say this book, if I'm having to describe this book, I would describe this book as a genre mashup. It has aspects of the book that are literary, definitely is contemporary because it takes place in the present day. It takes place from about, I think, 1977 to about 2018. So it's about a 40-year period it takes place over. So it's definitely contemporary. There are things that I recognize as they call a zennial. I consider myself a very early millennial because a lot of the stuff that millennials recognize, I recognize. I don't recognize a lot of Gen X stuff. Just to give you a clue, I was born early in 1980, so I'm giving away my age there, how old I am. So yeah, I'm giving away how old I am, where I am, my era. But yeah, I'm firmly planted in Zennial culture. If that gives you any clue where I was born. But yeah, a lot of this stuff I recognize. I recognize 9/11. I remember hearing reports of people walking across the bridges to get back home because the subways in New York weren't working. It takes place both in Philadelphia and primarily in Philadelphia and New York City. I would say it's almost about half and half. It exists in that Eastern Seaboard world, like Eastern U.S. Seaboard. Like there's a segment where Adina goes to the Jersey Shore for a month, and then she mainly resides in Philly, but then she goes to live in New York City, and she often goes back to Philly to visit her mom. We only get 1 or 2 scenes of that, but I imagine she goes quite regularly because I think it's really only a few hours between the two cities. It's not far, but it's two totally different cities. But yeah, I gave this about 6. I gave this about 3.5. I wasn't totally enamored. I probably would not have picked it up if it wasn't for my this online book club reading it. Yeah. I mean, a lot of books that I'm reading now sometimes are for book club, or books that I necessarily would not pick up, or haven't been on my TBR list, but only on my TBR list because the book club that I'm reading it for is reading it. So if you see that, anyways, I thought it was a decent book. It does feel like, it feels very different because you're looking at it from you're able to take a step back and look on it humans, and some of Adina's observations are actually quite astute, and sometimes that's how I feel being on the autism spectrum. Anyways, decent book. Probably won't pick it up again, but it was well worth it. If you're into science fiction and want something that's a little genre bending, I'd recommend it. If you're a literary fiction fan, you might enjoy this as well. Like I said, it's a genre mashup. One of those that are now, it's a historical fiction, but it's contemporary, but it's literary. It's just isn't clearly in one, doesn't go into one pigeonhole. So that is Beautyland by Helene Bertino. Recommend it if you pick it up. But yeah, I mean, if you're not into the genre, pick it up at your library. Probably it came out last year, so it's fairly new. She's a fairly new author, so she doesn't have a big, long, extensive backlist like some authors I read. Anyways, that was Beautyland by, like I said, Helene Bertino. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.